Most of us have this idea that wealth comes from some huge lucky break. That one big opportunity or the perfect business idea. But what if the real story is much, much quieter? What if it's actually found in a pattern of small behaviors that are so subtle and honestly so uncomfortable to face that most of us just miss it completely?
Okay, so let's just break this down. Over here on the left, that's the myth we all love to hear about. The dramatic, overnight success story. It's exciting. But the reality, what you see on the right, is way less cinematic. In fact, a lot of the time, it's kind of boring. Wealth is almost always the result of these quiet, consistent behaviors, repeated for years and years until one day the results are just too big to ignore. And this is a perfect way to think about it. Wealth isn't an explosion, it's pressure. It's building, silently, invisibly, behind a wall for what feels like forever. On the surface, nothing seems to be happening at all. Then, one day, that wall breaks, and to the outside world, it looks like this sudden victory. But you and I know it was never overnight.
And hey, this isn't some hot new take. Legendary investors like Warren Buffett have been saying this for decades. It's not about being a genius with one brilliant idea. It's about the discipline of your habits over a very, very long time. It's one of those things we all hear and we nod our heads, but very few of us actually stop to examine if we're living by it.
So, how does this actually play out in real life? Well, I want to walk you through what I call a 7-minute story. It's a moment that's so ordinary and so brief that it usually just passes by completely unnoticed, but it holds the power to define our entire financial future.
Just picture this. It's a normal evening. Your salary just hit your bank account. You're sitting there, maybe on your phone or your laptop, and right there in that quiet little 7-minute window, a really critical choice gets made, whether you're even conscious of it or not. And that choice, it sends your money down one of two paths. The default path is consumption. And it's the default for a reason, right? It gives us that immediate hit of satisfaction. Paying bills, upgrading our tech, buying little comforts, all of it feels productive and completely justified. But then there's the other path, the quiet one, ownership. That's sending your money into the future to buy assets that grow.
And here is the really crucial point. We tell ourselves, oh, I'll get to it later. But the incredibly dangerous thing about postponing these decisions is that time is the one resource in finance you can never get back. It never resets. Once a day is gone, its potential for growth, for compounding, is gone with it, forever.
So over time, these quick little moments, they stop being just choices. They harden into a pattern, a habit. And that habit is driven by one of two fundamentally different questions that quietly create two completely different futures.
And what's so subtle is how normal both of these questions sound. The first one is all about right now, about immediate gratification. The second one, though, that's about building a future where your money works for you. And the thing is, neither question feels wrong in the moment. They both feel reasonable. But over years, the outcomes they produce are just wildly different.
This leads to a huge mental trap that so many people fall into. They start on the path of ownership, right? They invest for a year, maybe two, and when they don't see some kind of explosive growth, they get impatient and assume, well, this just isn't working for me.
This chart shows you exactly why that happens. Look at this first bar, representing years 1 to 5. The growth is tiny. It feels slow, pointless, almost boring. But then, look what happens after year 10 in that third bar. That's when the exponential power of compounding really, truly kicks in. The tragedy is that most people give up long before they ever get to see that magic happen.
This is exactly why investors like Charlie Munger always said that building that first significant chunk of capital is the real grind. It's slow, and it really tests your patience. But once you have that base, the mathematics of growth finally starts working for you instead of against you.
Okay, but here's the part of the story that most people never see coming. The real reason people get stuck, it isn't just because they spend too much or because they don't invest. It actually goes deeper than that. There are a few silent habits at play that are even more powerful.
So, what are these deeply ingrained habits that hold so many people back? Let's break down the 3 that quietly sabotage financial independence, even for smart, high-earning people.
3 habits. They are so common, so seemingly normal, that millions of us repeat them every single month without ever realizing we're building a cage around our own financial freedom. All right, here they are. First up, seeing money as only a tool for problems. This means you only really engage with your finances when a bill is due or the car breaks down. Money becomes this reactive tool for putting out fires, but it's never a proactive tool for building something. Second, the classic trap. Investing is for later. You tell yourself you'll start when you get that raise, or when life just settles down. But later is a moving target that never actually arrives, and its cost is measured in lost decades of compounding. And third, prioritizing protection over growth. This one often disguises itself as being responsible. You're so afraid of losing a dollar that you keep everything in a savings account where it feels safe, but inflation is just silently eating away its value every single day.
The good news, though, is that once you can see these habits, you can start to break them. This isn't about some secret formula. It's about a fundamental shift in your mindset, away from just consumption and toward ownership. Let's go back to that 7-minute story for a second, but let's see it through a new lens. For someone building wealth, the moment a salary arrives isn't just for paying bills. It's a recurring strategic decision point. It's your chance to convert the labor you did today into a productive asset that works for you tomorrow. This right here, this is the mental flip. It's shifting from asking, what can this money get me right now, to asking, what could this single dollar become in 20 years if I just put it to work? That one little change in perspective redirects the entire flow of your financial life. So just to recap, these are the patterns to break. Seeing money only as a problem solver, waiting for that perfect, stable moment to invest that never comes, and letting the fear of loss completely overshadow the potential for growth. And the trickiest part? They all feel like responsible, normal behaviors in the moment.
And that really brings us right back to our central idea. Building wealth is almost never about one brilliant, life-changing move. It is the sum of thousands of small, quiet, and honestly, often boring decisions to consistently push a portion of your money toward assets that can grow over time. That is the true engine of financial independence. So I'll leave you with a final thought. Of those 3 silent habits we talked about, using money only for problems, delaying investing, or prioritizing protection over growth, which one do you think is the biggest barrier for most people? I have a theory that it's number 2, the postponing, because it's just the easiest excuse to make. But I'm genuinely curious to hear your take. Let me know what you think in the comments.